I think they usually do it right about here, right?
Please rise. 34th District Court is now in session. The Honorable Tina Brooks Green presiding.
Have a seat. People versus Leon Booker.
Jane Gillis on behalf of the people.
And good afternoon, Your Honor, from Neighborhood Defender Service, Jonathan Hortis, P78948, on behalf of Mr. Leon Booker, who's seated to my right. Mr. Booker, can you rise, state your name?
Leon Booker.
Thank you. You can have a seat. And this matter is set for preliminary exam today. Are the people ready to proceed?
We are ready to proceed, Your Honor. At this time, the people would call Officer Long from Inkster Police Department.
Come on up, officer. And when you get up to the witness stand, if you could raise your right hand. Solemnly swear affirm the testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
You can have a seat right there and you can leave your mask on, or since we're all social distance, you can take your mask off. It's your preference. Go ahead, Ms. Gillis.
Officer Long, I'd like to draw your attention back to the date of November 19th, 2020. Were you working as an Inkster Police Department police officer?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you on patrol that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in a marked car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did something catch your attention around Barrington and Middlebelt in the city of Inkster?
Yes, ma'am. A white pickup truck failed to stop at a red light on Middlebelt at Walkley.
Okay, and then what did you do next?
I initiated a traffic stop at Barrington and Middlebelt, where I called out the license plate and the description of the vehicle. Upon exiting the vehicle.
You gotta speak up a little bit. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I initiated the traffic stop at Barrington and Middlebelt, called out the license plate to our dispatch, along with the vehicle description. Upon exiting the vehicle took off from the traffic stop.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Can you say your full name on the record, please?
Officer William Wong
Okay, and you're from Inkster Police Department.
with Inkster Police Department.
Okay, so after you get out of the car and he said he took off?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what did you do next?
I pursued the vehicle. He went eastbound on Barrington to Central, made a right, disregarding the stop sign at Barrington and Central, went to Palmer, which is where Central dead ends, made the right onto Palmer, went back to Middlebelt, disregarding the stop sign again at Middlebelt and Palmer, and continued southbound on Middlebelt, disregarding the red light at Van Buren, and I was terminated by my supervisor at Beverly and Middlebelt.
And when you were terminated at Beverly and Middlebelt, were you in the city of Romulus at this point?
What was that, Your Honor?
When you terminated your chase, were you in the city of Romulus by that point?
Correct.
Okay. And when you were chasing down Middlebelt, did you have on your lights and sirens?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And tell me again, what was the street you stopped at Romulus?
I was terminated in.
At what? Middlebelt?
Beverly and Middlebelt was what he said.
Okay, I didn't hear
Court will
what he
take
said.
judicial notice of the fact that that's Romulus.
Okay, thank you. And then, okay, and what type of car was this?
It was a white Chevy Silverado pickup truck.
Okay. And did you have your dispatch call out the vehicle information?
Your Honor, objection for hearsay.
Well, no, I'm asking if you told them.
I think he already testified that he told dispatch.
He told dispatch, they
Okay.
called him off. He didn't call himself off.
Okay. Okay, I have no further questions.
Mr. Hortos?
What time did that happen?
I'm going to have to look at my report. I honestly don't recall the exact time.
Okay. You don't recall the exact time that the,
I know it was evenings. I work night shift. I don't recall the exact time.
okay. And when you discontinued your chase at Beverly, that was the last interaction you had, correct?
Correct.
So you didn't see this car again after that?
I seen it still had traveling southbound Middlebelt, which I advised my dispatch that it was still traveling southbound Middlebelt.
And similarly, when you indicated earlier that you initiated a traffic stop, the vehicle never stopped, right?
What was that, sir?
The vehicle never stopped, right?
It did stop.
It did stop. Did you ever get out of your vehicle?
I got out of the vehicle. Upon getting out of the vehicle took off.
Okay. When you got out of your vehicle, you didn't make it more than a couple steps, right?
Correct.
So the entire time you're behind this vehicle during that initial stop, right?
Correct.
So you didn't have a good look at the driver, right?
No, sir.
No further questions. Thank you.
Okay, you said you didn't have a good look at the driver. Did you ultimately go to the scene later on where Romulus police had stopped the driver?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you identify the car for them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Anything else, Mr. Hordos?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You are free to step down and you're free to leave. Thank you,
Thank you, Your
officer.
Honor.
Next witness.
The next witness is Corporal Daryl Memphis of the Romulus Police Department.
Will you guys let me know too when we have the witness or everybody here on Holland? Is Mr. Pullman, are they?
I have my witnesses already here on.
No, is that going?
I think so.
Okay. You gonna hand serve him a notice?
I can.
Officer Memphis, can you raise your right hand, solemnly swear or affirm testimony you'll give in this matter will be the true self you got?
Yes.
Have a seat. Go ahead, Miss Gillis.
Okay, Corporal Nippes, I'd like to draw your attention back to the date of November 19th, 2020. Did you get notice about a car in the city of Romulus that there was like a bolo or anything like that?
Yes, that night, I was working patrol and, we got notified by our dispatch that, Inkster Police Department was chasing a vehicle.
Okay, and you work for the Romulus Police Department?
That is correct.
And what time was this?
To be honest with you, I don't know the exact time.
Okay. Was it nighttime?
Yes, it's sometime between, 11 PM and 7 AM. I was working midnights that shift, so.
Okay, and so did you end up locating this vehicle?
So yes, when originally I had notified about the chase that Inkster was having, I believe it was southbound on Middle Belt, headed towards 94. And I was right at, I think it was Vining and North Line. And so I ended up going northbound on Vining towards 94 in case the vehicle or the person continued down 94.
Okay, and did you locate the vehicle?
I did locate the vehicle as I was driving up to 94. I saw the vehicle coming off the exit ramp of 94 at a high rate of speed and matched the description of the vehicle that Inkster was chasing, and ended up getting behind the vehicle, confirming that it was the vehicle that Inkster was chasing.
Okay, and did you eventually pull this vehicle over? Or what happened?
So I followed the vehicle a little bit due to him just fleeing from Inkster. So I kind of waited before I actually activated my overhead lights and siren until other vehicles could get in the area a little bit. And then before other vehicles got there, ended up turning into, I want to say it's the Comfort Inn, a hotel right off of Wick Road.
Okay. Let me back up just a little bit. When you said you saw this vehicle coming off 94, how long after the bolo did you see this vehicle?
Within a matter of, I guess, seconds, minutes. I don't know the exact time, but it was
Okay.
right away pretty much.
And did you pull in the vehicle? Did you pull in behind this vehicle?
When it pulled into the hotel, I activated my overhead lights and pulled in behind the vehicle, yes.
Okay, and then what'd you do next?
After I activated my overhead lights, the vehicle ended up pulling into a parking spot and coming to a stop. At that point in time, the driver opened up the door, told the driver to basically stay right there and to put his hands up.
Okay, and did he cooperate?
After a few seconds, yes, he did.
Okay, and did you get him out of the vehicle?
So at that point in time, I kept him inside the vehicle. I approached him and then got him outside of the vehicle and secured him in handcuffs.
Okay, and did you notice, well, did you see the person here in court today that you secured in handcuffs?
Yes.
And what color shirt is he wearing?
Black shirt.
Can the record reflect that he has identified, Corporal Nichols has identified the defendant?
It's reflected.
Okay. And did you notice anything unusual when you got him out of the vehicle?
After I got him out of the vehicle, ended up noticing that he had body armor on him.
Okay. And then did you notice anything else after you had gotten him out of the vehicle?
After I had secured him in the my back seat, ended up noticing that there was a, I guess, AR type handgun on the passenger seat.
Okay. Did you confiscate that and tag it for evidence?
Yes.
Okay. And did the Bromley or the Inkster police officer eventually show up to where you were at the hotel parking lot?
Yeah. So in between me securing the driver and then actually, I guess, making the weapon safe and whatnot, Inkster showed up.
And in this hotel parking lot, this was in the city of Rockville?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have the car towed eventually?
Yes.
Can you tell me the name of the gun again?
I can't remember the exact make of the gun or who actually manufactured it, but basically the gun was technically by law considered a handgun. But
Objection, Your Honor, for legal conclusion.
Okay.
Sustained.
Okay. Did you run the gun through lien?
Yes, I did.
Who came back? Did the owner come back on it?
I'd have to refer to my report as far as who exactly it came back to or the lead people.
And Judge, I'll make a relevance objection. It doesn't relate to the charges as filed.
What's the relevance on who the gun came back to? I
Well,
mean, the gun
sometimes
charge,
lien, well,
it doesn't change the gun charge. It is I mean, it's, you know,
what, just answer this. What type of gun was it? Let me ask you this. Was it a pistol?
Objection, Your Honor, I think that's a legal conclusion.
I don't think that whether it's a pistol is a legal conclusion. Overruled. Answer the question if you know.
It is considered a pistol.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, I would move to strike that answer of it is considered to be a pistol versus it, he believed it to be a pistol. I think it embraces a question of fact that the court would have, or a legal question that the court would have to decide.
I'll allow it for purposes of exam only, and that he believes, you believe it's a pistol.
That is correct. I haven't actually measured it for the legal purposes, like length and whatnot is basically what we use for
Okay,
definition of.
that's fine. For today's purposes, that's what he believes it is. Anything else, Ms. Gillis?
I have nothing else.
Mr. Hordos?
Okay, so you indicate you activated your lights and sirens and that he stopped for those lights and sirens, right?
I don't remember activating my siren, but for sure my lights, yes.
Okay, fair enough. So you activate your lights, vehicle stops at the Comfort Inn parking lot. Now, when you say you saw this weapon on the passenger seat, which passenger seat are you referring to?
The front seat,
Front seat. And where was it on the front passenger seat?
right on the seat.
Okay. Was there anything covering it?
No.
And this weapon you described as an AR type weapon, right?
Correct.
And when you say AR, you mean assault rifle, right?
And I don't believe it's actually AR stands for assault rifle. It's actually like, I forget the exact, but a lot of people use assault rifle as far as the AR stand, but yes, it's more or less an AR platform.
Okay. And would you agree with me that this gun had a magazine that resembled something like a banana, right?
It had a magazine in it, yes.
So it had a curved magazine, right?
Correct.
And it had full.
I'm sorry. The term AR actually, are you saying that it actually stands for like Armalite rifle?
Correct. I believe, I couldn't remember exactly, but yes, that is.
Showing my knowledge.
Thank you, Judge. Your better history
You're
stuff in
welcome.
mind.
You're welcome. Everybody thinks it means assault rifle, but it really means Armalite rifle.
Correct,
Thank
yes.
So it resembles these Armalite rifles, right?
Yes,
Okay. And it's got a magazine, you said.
yes.
And the ammunition that was in the magazine was full metal jacket, right?
I believe so.
Okay, these weren't like pistol rounds, right?
No, it was 2.23.
Okay, so that's a fairly large round.
Yes,
That you would agree with me that that's typically associated with rifle ammunition?
typically.
This is something you would almost agree, would you agree with me that this resembled a military style weapon?
I mean, if you're saying it's considered close to like an M16 or something along those lines, I guess.
So it resembled something like an M16, you're saying?
If that's what you're implying by military style. I don't know exactly what your definition of military
I'm gonna
style
object, he's
is.
starting to get into what his opinion is. I mean, he said it was a pistol.
Well, he was allowed to testify to his opinion as to whether or not he
Yeah, I
thought it was a
mean, he
pistol.
was. I'm gonna let it.
So you indicated that you thought you would agree it resembled something like an M16.
Fairly close, yeah.
Okay. And you said you didn't measure it for length, right?
That is correct.
One moment, please. I have no further questions, thank you.
Anything else?
When you said you reviewed the lean on the weapon that was in the car, does it come out, does the lean indicate whether it's a pistol?
Your Honor, I think I objected properly to that question the first time.
I mean, it doesn't, for today's purposes, I don't think that it matters. He's already indicated that's what he thought it was, but
Okay, at this point, we have, what's her name?
anything else for Austin?
We have
You
Detective
can-
Lowry.
You can step down for
Thank you.
what? What do you have another witness for?
The confession.
Come on.
Yeah.
For probable cause hearing for today.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time, the people could rest when we move to bind over.
Argument, Mr. Hordos?
Yes, Judge. I'll object to the bind over a couple different reasons. First of all, I think the carrying concealed weapon charge has to attach to a pistol. You caught from my questioning that this is sort of where I was going. The officer indicated that he did not measure the weapon for length. In order to make the determination that the weapon is in fact a pistol, I believe the designation in the law is 23 inches or shorter.
And it's gotta be an issue of fact for the jury. I'm gonna bind the defendant over. The arraignment on the information will take place 2 weeks from today on April the 7th.
Thank you, Judge. I was not done with my arguments yet.
Go ahead.
With respect to count 2 and count 3, I don't believe that the people established venue for that offense.
They did in the city of Romulus, and I took judicial notice that it was in the city of Romulus when he discontinued at Middle Belt and Beverly.
Yes, Judge. And I would argue that this was not a continuing offense, that the criminal act was accomplished by failing to stop when the officer initially signaled in Inkster. And so when the second officer initiated his stop at the Comfort Inn, that stop was successfully accomplished without resistance. And so I think without some indication about the distance between borders, venue is not proper in Romulus for the fleeing and eluding or the felony firearm charge.
I disagree, and I'm gonna bind over, and I think that that's an issue of fact also, that the arraignment on the information will take place 2 weeks from today, April the 7th at 9 a.m., and I'll continue the bond.
Thank you,
Your
Judge.
Honor.
Thanks.
Okay, sorry.
Here. Just Gillis, I'm gonna check and see on Holland if they're on.
Oh.
That's on your other case, and then see, it tells you that's where you